He watched his mother's hand tremble as she reached for a cereal box. Her arm lifted halfway, then stopped. She couldn't reach it. He was 10 feet ahead, scrolling through his phone, completely unaware. By the time he looked back, she'd already given up, smiling like nothing happened. That's when it hit him. He couldn't remember the last time she actually kept up with him anymore. Daniel Harry was 38 and lived like most people his age, sprinting through life one notification at a time. But every Sunday he visited his mother Grace. She was 67, a retired teacher with soft gray hair and a smile that made everything feel okay. She still cooked for him every visit, even though it took longer now. He didn't notice that part yet. But if you watched closely, you'd see it. The way she winced bending down, the way she paused at the top of stairs, the way her hands shook pouring coffee. She hid it all behind jokes and old stories, and Daniel, like so many of us, was too distracted to see what was right in front of him. During their usual Sunday grocery run, Daniel walked ahead like always, phone in hand. Grace followed a few steps behind, moving carefully, slower than before. A kid darted past and she stumbled slightly, gripping the shelf to steady herself. Daniel didn't see it. Then it happened. Grace bent down for a can of soup, and when she tried to stand back up, her knees locked. She gripped the cart, breathing hard, pulling herself upright with visible effort. This time Daniel looked back, and he froze. For just a second, he saw her, not as his mom, but as someone fragile, someone aging, someone who wasn't keeping up because she couldn't. The realization landed quietly, but it hit hard. Before we dive deeper, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're new here, click on the subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. After that moment, Daniel slowed down. He walked beside her, carried the bags, listened to her stories. They laughed together. It felt like such a small fix, just slowing down, just paying attention. But when they got back to her house, he saw something that made his stomach drop. A pill organizer packed with medications, a folding cane still wrapped in plastic, a fridge calendar crammed with doctor appointments he knew nothing about. He pulled down a paper, a note from her doctor dated 2 months ago. Neuropathy progressing, monitor for weakness and fall risk. His hands went cold. Grace walked in and saw him holding it. Her voice was quiet. "I didn't want you to worry, sweetheart." She wasn't slowing down because she wanted to. Her body was failing her, and he'd been too busy to notice. Daniel became obsessed with helping, showing up unannounced, rearranging furniture, moving things to lower shelves, insisting on carrying everything. He meant well, but Grace started feeling like a patient in her own home. One evening, as he hovered while she made tea, she finally snapped. Her voice cracked, but stayed firm. "Daniel, please, I'm getting older, I know that, but I'm not helpless. I'm not gone yet." He stepped back, stunned. She wasn't angry. She was hurt. He realized what he'd been doing. In trying to protect her, he'd taken away her independence, made her feel fragile instead of supported. They stood there, both trying not to cry, both realizing they didn't know how to do this. How do you help someone age with dignity? A few days later, Grace called him over. She slid an old shoebox across the table. Inside were his childhood drawings, crayon stick figures holding hands, lopsided houses. He looked up, confused. She smiled softly. "You didn't learn to walk in a day, Danny. You fell 100 times. I held your hand through every single one. I never rushed you. I never made you feel bad for needing help." Her voice wavered. "Now it's my turn to need a hand, but don't make me feel like I can't stand on my own." Daniel's throat tightened. He finally understood. She wasn't asking to be carried or fixed. She was asking to be seen, to be respected, to be loved without being pitied. He reached across and took her hand. "I'm sorry, Mom." She squeezed back. "I know." After that, everything changed. Daniel helped in ways that honored her dignity. He joined her physical therapy sessions to encourage her. They cooked together, laughing at mistakes. He drove her to appointments so she wasn't alone. They planted a garden. She taught him to prune tomatoes. He taught her voice commands on her phone. Their relationship deepened, not because she needed him more, but because he finally learned to be present. Grace didn't become weaker. She seemed more alive, more herself, because someone finally stopped rushing and started walking with her. Sunday mornings became sacred, slow Sundays. They walked through the park at Grace's pace, stopping whenever she needed. They sat on benches watching dogs play. They talked about everything and nothing. Sometimes they didn't talk at all, and that was okay. He wasn't on his phone, wasn't thinking about work, just there, fully, completely there. Grace pointed out birds, flowers, memories tied to certain trees, and Daniel listened, really listened. How do you make up for lost time? You can't, but you can choose to be present for the time that's left. Here's what Daniel learned that most people miss. When your parent starts aging, don't just ask what they need, ask what they still want to do. Grace didn't need him to take over her life. She needed him to help her keep living it. There's a difference between helping someone and treating them like they're broken. One preserves dignity, the other destroys it. So if you're watching this and you have aging parents, try this. Next time you visit, don't just do things for them, do things with them. Let them teach you something they know. Let them move at their own pace. Ask them about their dreams, not just their doctor appointments. Because the saddest part of aging isn't losing ability. It's being made to feel invisible while you're still here. Don't let that happen to the people who gave you everything. One Sunday evening, as the sun dipped low, Daniel and Grace walked slowly down a garden path together. Their steps matched. Her hand rested lightly on his arm. She smiled. He smiled back. No rush, no phone, no hurry, just two people walking side by side. Aging parents don't need us to carry them. They just need us to stop walking ahead and walk with them again. How would you feel if this was your story? What would you do differently? Let us know in the comments below.